Well, it is official. Guys, stop everything you're doing. Put down that glass of water. Don't ask me how I knew you were drinking a glass of water, because this is important. Hey guys, how's it hanging? It is TheLivingBluejay here, and step by step, we're getting ever so close to discovering more and more about the biggest mystery of Johnny Test. That's right, more animation has just been discovered and dug up in regards to Johnny Test, the Lost web series. Shout out to Rob's Media, who's included this discovered animation from the web series as part of their part 2 to their 40 lost/deleted pieces of YouTube content video. So what has been found? Well, if you guys know, or maybe not know, the biggest discoveries that has been dug up regarding the Lost web series is A, the full episode of Johnny vs. Boogerman, and B, all 15 title cards for all 15 web episodes. So connecting the newly found footage, we can safely assume this footage belongs to Who's a Good Johnny. Now, this footage doesn't come with the audio from the episode, as Rob's media team has their commentary over it. However, while working on this video, I've done some digging myself and have discovered the very clip Rob's Media has used in their video, but with the audio. Now, the audio is low quality and the footage is in very early stages of development, meaning some props weren't yet made and no sound effects or music were placed yet. Anyway, we open up with Dookie in the lab, with a head device connected to his head. The device appears to have red blinkers and a meter, likely used to measure the voltage. He appears to be reading the newspaper as usual, and he seems to either get enraged by a headline in the newspaper and looks away, or hears a distracting noise and looks towards it. He says in Johnny's voice, "I bet there'll be bacon too." And huh? However, something seems off. If you've picked up on it, his eyes seem very off. And before you ask, yes, this is intended. Cutting over to what Dookie turned to look to, we have this very new design for Johnny. He appears to be holding a never-seen-before invention, the Perfecto Sandwicho, that takes the form of a toaster.
Bread is what goes in the toaster that cooks the bread to make toast.
Designed with some switches, a meter, and a shiny red button. Its purpose is likely to help make the perfect sandwich. The invention appears to have text on the back of it, which we see Johnny reading and also gets enraged by it. And by the way, this isn't the first time Susan and Mary added text onto their invention. We've seen this happen before in episodes like Nightmare on Johnny Street. So Johnny also wearing on his head the same head device we saw Dookie with, we can notice that Johnny's face looks vastly different. The side of his hair is more curved and choppy, he has facial hair and more narrow eyes with black irises. Johnny says in Dookie's voice while reading the back of the invention, "Oh my, that's an outrage." Now, if you've picked up on it, yes, Johnny and Dookie have switched facial attributes. Dookie has Johnny's eyes and lost his doggy chin hairs, whereas Johnny has Dookie's eyes, his doggy chin hairs, and a hair color more akin to Dookie's fur. So far, they only have each other's facial attributes and voices, as their behaviors still appear unchanged. However, it's believed that later in the episode, judging by the title card, Johnny's actions will become more to that of a dog's, and Dookie's actions will become to that of a pet owner. So it's a slow shift. Dookie gets up and says, "Hey, what gives?" towards Susan and Mary, which Susan pulls a lever, sending Dookie and Johnny down a trap door, losing their helmets and revealing their new hair. Right then, it's shown Dookie and Johnny holding the Perfecto Sandwicho, falling down a series of tubes, which actually, funny enough, reminded me of a scene in the Lego movie. Eventually, Johnny and Dookie bump into each other while falling and the Perfecto Sandwicho was dropped. I also found this an insanely interesting and clever detail. The camera movement on this scene creates Dookie as the main focus, really putting into perspective that Dookie has become the Johnny, the main character. Another detail I love is all these items and treasures underground, like the dinosaur bones, garbage bags, skulls, bones, papers, and even a legit treasure chest. Reminds me a bit of Hoist the Johnny Roger.
Looks like your yard is a treasure-free zone.
In any way, with the tunnel ending, Dookie and Johnny fall past a sign that says "Exit this way," with an arrow pointing them out. After that is the next scene of Susan and Mary holding clipboards. Mary presses a button on a device and brings down this monitor, a prop that didn't exist yet in that stage of the animation. Mary says, "Finally, we'll be able to have some insight into interspecies neurotransmission." While bringing down that monitor, it's likely that in the finished version of the episode, they'll be studying Dookie and Johnny's behaviors as they're becoming each other. Dookie is slowly turning into Johnny, and Johnny is slowly turning into Dookie. Now, Rob's Media didn't only just show this found footage, but has also disposed some really cool information, some that I didn't even know about. To begin, something I was already aware about is the mentioned teaser.
That teaser in itself was only up for 6 months before being privated.
Remember this? Yeah, from my memory, this was posted March 15th, 2019, reflecting Rob's Media's statement of early 2019. This very teaser was privated 6 months later, projecting sometime in September when it was privated, which I believe to be true, since I remember the first time I've heard of its privating was in October, so I wouldn't put it past myself being a little late to the news back then. This next piece of information I didn't know. So Rob's Media mentions most of the web series information known was given through its IMDb page. However, that very IMDb page was also deleted. I'm not sure if there's any screenshots of it though, but that'd be awesome if there are. This next piece of information I'm only sorta half aware of. So Rob's Media mentions the involvement of 4chan. Its users were able to exploit and data mine through Smashbit's demo reel, and were somehow able to recover clips from Johnny Trends, Johnny Beta Test, and One Punch Johnny, and of course the full episode of Johnny vs. Boogerman. I have seen the recovered clips from Johnny Trends, which while Wildbrain Spark was working on this episode, they actually referenced me in it, so that was pretty cool and funny, but not the clips from Johnny Beta Test or One Punch Johnny. I'd definitely love to see those though. I've seen a little something from One Punch Johnny though, but probably not what 4chan has recovered. These 4chan users are pretty spectacular. They're a huge part of the recovery of the Lost web series. I cannot thank them enough. I really hope they can keep on working their magic to recover even more clips. But anyway, with all of that in mind though, what are my thoughts? I think this looks incredible. Who's a Good Johnny is reported to be the 13th episode of the web series. This really shows the evolution since episode 1, League of Johnnies. It looks absolutely spectacular. I can see all these new techniques I haven't seen in League, whether it be characters rotating from left to right, to more life in the character animation. I can only imagine seeing this episode's final stage. It'd be incredible. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. Johnny Test, the Lost web series, has shown so much beautiful promise. It's an absolute shame that Wildbrain didn't even give it a shot. They gave me and many others happiness and something to look forward to during the hardships of 2020, and having pulled that out of our hearts is devastating. But fingers crossed they'll have a change of heart and decide to rerun these episodes. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it. The web series isn't as bad as people make it out to be. It had charm. It had a unique experience that you never would have expected from the franchise through its stories and concepts. In other words, the web show had a lot more freedom, ergo why they referenced me in it. I just hate to see all this time, resources, and efforts go to waste by the cast and crew. All this hard work that was put into it, this work done by people and passion. It absolutely breaks my heart to see go to waste. The Lost web series deserves to see the light of day. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this found footage? Let me know in the comments. Also, keep checking the description of this video within the coming days. I'm planning on adding a Google Drive link for all of you guys of the found footage with audio that I covered in this video. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating on the video. Thank you for the support. And I want to thank my friend Looney Loaiza for notifying me of Rob's Media's video. If you want to see more Johnny Test videos, why not subscribe? This is your absolute best and only place to be for Johnny Test. And tap the bell icon to be notified for future videos. If you'd like to see a Johnny Test cameo in a movie, click the video you're currently seeing on your screen. Or maybe with the return of multiverses approaching ever so rapidly, check out my dream moveset for Johnny Test.